Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about flex slots in Azorius Convoke and the different builds that you can make with this deck. And this is going to start with the non-flex slots. So these are the non-flex slots in Azorius Convoke. These are the cards that you're pretty much bought into playing if you're playing this archetype. These 52 cards in the main deck and these 8 cards in the sideboard. You should pause the video and check it out if you need to, but really this is about how do we fill these 8 slots in the main deck and how do we fill these 7 slots in the sideboard? Well, these are our options. These 18 cards for the main deck and these 16 cards for the sideboard. Let's talk about them. First off, we need to add one more land. Our options are an additional plains, a restless anchorage, or a soulstone sanctuary. The additional plains is great because it's untapped mana and white mana is our primary mana source. Restless anchorage is a man land and it provides blue and white. However, it enters tapped, which can be kind of problematic since this is an aggro deck. Soulstone sanctuary enters untapped and is a man land, but it's colorless. So what are you looking for, right? Like, are you looking for better colors? You're looking for faster mana? Are you looking for, you don't care about your colors, you just want fast mana and a man land? It's a lot to think about, but you're going to pick one of these. You can play up to 2 Shard Mage's Rescue. Shard Mage's Rescue is a 1 mana flash enchantment that when it enters, the creature has hexproof for the rest of the turn. An enchanted creature gets +1/+1. It's very good against decks with a lot of spot removal. You could play the 4th Sheltered by Ghosts. Sheltered by Ghosts is excellent against aggro decks because when it enters, you exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Sheltered by Ghosts leaves the battlefield. An enchanted creature gets +1/+0, has lifelink and ward 2. So you want this if you're better matchup against the aggro decks. You can play the 4th Floodpits Drowner. It is a 2 mana 2/1 with flash and vigilance. When Floodpits Drowner enters, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. You pay 2 mana and tap Floodpits Drowner to shuffle Floodpits Drowner and target creature with a stun counter on it into their owner's library. So this is really good to get things out of the way since we're an aggro deck and remove super problematic threats. You can play up to 2 Subterranean Schooner. It's a 2 mana 3/4 vehicle with crew 1. Whenever it attacks, target creature that crewed at this turn explores. This is kind of an interesting card. We have a lot of creatures that can crew it, and it allows us to have a much bigger threat. Exploring often is drawing a card, and so this all around can be a very strong addition to your deck. You can play up to 2 Sanguine Evangelists. It has Battle Cry, so when it attacks, all the other creatures that are attacking get +1/+0, and when it enters or dies, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. So it's 2 creatures in 1, and if you're going really wide, it pumps up your team. And so if you find yourself going wide a lot, or that's the Sanguine Evangelist is pretty solid. You can play an Unidentified Hovership. This is a 3 mana vehicle 2/2 with flying and crew 1. When it enters, exile up to 1 target creature with toughness 5 or less. When Unidentified Hovership leaves the battlefield, the exile card's owner manifests dread. And so this indefinitely gets rid of larger creatures that might be in your way. So it's very good against decks that are looking to block. But also, if they ever answer Unidentified Hovership, then they don't get the creature back. They just manifest dread, which is excellent for us. It's also an evasive vehicle after it removes something, so that's relevant as well, and easily crewable. We can play 1 Kaido Cunning Infiltrator. Kaido Cunning Infiltrator is a planeswalker that starts at 3 loyalty. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you put a loyalty counter on Kaido. Its +1 is up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card, then discard a card. This is very good in a deck with cards like Regal Bunnicorn that end up absolutely massive, so that's relevant. Is -2 is create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token, and -6 you get an emblem that says whenever a player casts a blue spell, you get a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. It's very good against decks that are looking to block but aren't playing a ton of removal. Raise from the Past. We can play up to 2 of those in the main deck. It's a 4 mana sorcery. Return all creature cards mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Very good against decks that are playing a lot of removal spells. Allows us to essentially reset. You can play the 4th Enduring Curiosity. It's a 4/3 with flash. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. When Enduring Curiosity dies, if it was a creature, return to the battlefield under Sona control as an enchantment. It's really good if you're looking to totally outcard your opponents. It's especially good against decks that are looking to go very long. And we could play Steel Seraph 3 and 4. It's a 6 mana 5/4 with flying. And at the end of combat in your turn, target creature you control gains your choice of flying Vigilance, or Lifelink until end of turn. However, we can prototype it and have it be a 3/3 for 3 mana. This is great because it allows us to have a better matchup against the aggro decks because it can give lifelink to our large creatures. Can also be very evasive if people are looking to block. So you're going to be selecting 8 of these cards, one of them being a land, to be adding to your main deck. As far as the sideboard goes, we need 7 of these cards. So you could play up to 2 Elspeth's Smite, dealing 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Very good against the aggressive decks and against the Enduring Curiosity decks. You can play the 3rd Destroy Evil, good against enchantments and big budded blockers. Up to 2 Rest in Peace for additional graveyard hate. You can play the 4th Sheltered by Ghosts in the sideboard instead for that better aggro matchup. Play up to 2 Lauren of the Third Path. It's a 2/1 with Vigilance. When Lauren of the Third Path enters, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. And you can tap it to have you and target opponent each draw a card. This is just great because it's a creature with Vigilance, so we can attack with it and then tap it to like Warden or something, and just decent artifact or enchantment hate. We can play 1 Johnny Color of the Pride. This is actually played in the main deck in earlier versions of the deck. But it's a 3 mana planeswalker that starts at 4 loyalty. Is +1, put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Really good on things like Warden that get things when they have more +1/+1 counters. It's -3 is target creature against flying and double strike until end of turn. This can kind of be a combo kill with Regal Bunnicorn, because Regal Bunnicorn is very often a 6/6, 7/7, 8/8 even, and being able to just like jump something and give it double strike is disgusting. And this -8 is create X 2/2 white cat creature tokens where X is your life total. Rarely going to do that because we're trying to combo kill with that. And if you feel like you can combo kill with Regal Bunnicorn, Johnny's kind of a cool card to play in the sideboard against decks that don't have a ton of removal. You can play the 2nd Split Up. These one-sided board wipes that are really good against other aggressive decks. You can play Raise the Pass in the sideboard. We already talked about it in the main deck, but really good against decks that are looking to just kill our creatures. You can play the 4th Protect the Negotiators. If you're worried about board wipes. Cryptic Coat is an interesting card. When it enters, cloak the top card of your library and attach it to Cryptic Coat, which is essentially face down 2/2. A cryptic creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. And you can pay 2 mana to return Cryptic Coat to its owner's hand. This is pretty solid against decks with a lot of removal and that are going to go really, really long because we can pay 3 mana to get a creature that we could flip over very easily. If they answer that creature, we just return Cryptic Coat, replay it. That creature can't be blocked, so effectively it's a must answer, etc., etc. And we could play up to 2 Tishana's Tidebinder. Answers dozens of cards. Zur, temporary lockdown, stuff like that immediately pop into my head, but it's so much we could play in the sideboard for this. So you're going to be selecting 7 of these sideboard cards, and alongside the 8 of these flex slots to join the 52 non-flex slots in the main deck and the 8 non-flex slots in the sideboard, you have your very own but stock build of Azorius Convoke in Standard. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.